How the heck are you, everybody? I am Fastidious, and welcome to my top 10 predictions for Watcher of Realms' second anniversary. This thing's kicking off in less than a week's time, and I have written down the top 10 things I think will come, the top 10 things I want to come, some of the things we now know are coming. I wrote this list yesterday, and then they had a big sneak peek content drop. Only a couple. I think like 7 or 8 of these I'm still hoping they will announce. I can't imagine all 10 will happen, though I think all 10 are easily within the realm of possibility, but I do think several of these will happen, and we actually know now 2 of them for sure are happening. I'm pretty proud of these predictions, and I really hope Moonton is going to follow through with some of these ideas. Not like take them from me, but that they already had them themselves, and they're going to do them. You know, we had a big content drop sneak peek yesterday, and I think some people are acting like that's all that's going to happen. That has never been the case with these big events. There's always something extra. There's always another freebie, some other banner we don't know about. Are there going to be other new characters? You know, we had 3 announced yesterday. I really would like to think so, but we can't say for sure.
Fastidious.
Fastidious.
Without further ado, let's get into it. The top 10 things I want to see, my 10 predictions for the anniversary. Let's reveal number 1. This is going to be a free Soul Stone. I think this is going to happen. So the past, I want to say 3 consecutive big events, they've given us some kind of a free Soul Stone. They did one for like Thanksgiving, start of winter. That was a big event. Then they had one, I guess that was the smallest of these examples. Then they had the free one they sent us in the mail for Christmas, New Year's, the Frostfall Jamboree. And then we got one for the springtime Easter Till Kingdom Come. It has not been announced yet, but I'm confident in this prediction. I think it's become a norm that they give us with a little bit of regularity, some frequency, often enough, a very generous free Soul Stone, whether that be polished or unpolished. They've actually never given us outside of like, a reward or an Odyssey quest. They've never, I guess it was the one time with the Odyssey quest, they've never given us a free polished Soul Stone, but I would think at least an unpolished Soul Stone, whether it's just like a wow surprise mailbox, thank you for sticking with WoR for 2 years, here's an unpolished. If it's tied into a special event we don't know about yet, I would like to see a free Soul Stone. They've been pretty good about these, but everyone has different amounts of drop luck with the unpolished Soul Stones. I'll actually show you mine right now. We'll just click on Beelzebub here. I'm on my account. I've been saving like a madman. I've got 4 here.
What?
In total, I put 2 into Sun Wukong. I've put 3 into Ymerit, so that's 5, and then I have these 4. 6 of those were free. There was one from Achievements, there was one from the Odyssey quest, if I'm not mistaken, and then they gave us 4 free ones historically. So I think it's going to be time we get our 5th. So that is my prediction. I've been okay on the luck to have 3 unpolished Soul Stones drop. I know some people that have had like 8. I don't know if I know anyone with 0 that's been max farming since November. If that's you, let me know, and I'll apologize on behalf of Moonton since they won't do it. But yeah, I think we're going to get a free Soul Stone. It'd be sick if it was polished. I would expect it to be unpolished. Let's go to my number 2 prediction now. This one I would bet everything on. It has not been leaked at all yet. Moonton has not sneak peeked it at all yet. It is unthinkable they will not do an Ingrid Banner. The last Ingrid Banner was on December 29th, 2024. Literally exactly 6 months and a day ago. Ingrid at this point is by a large margin the best lord in the game, in my opinion. I think she's a solid step above Praetus and Valderon. For the people that are the most competitive players, the most endgame players, and really the people that are most ready to spend the most money, they want to see an Ingrid Banner. Anyone that is a top player and doesn't have Ingrid is just not fully competing in the game. Like for GVG, so many of the best defenses need Ingrid. Top PvP stuff, you need Ingrid for an arena as well. Like, she dominates a lot of the harder and harder endgame content they're giving us in PvE. She's the best, and going more than half a year, over 6 months, a lot more than that without running her would be tough. I would be shocked if we don't get some kind of Ingrid Banner. I honestly be shocked, and I'll tell you, I've talked to a couple of these people, there's a certain kind of person who will just straight up quit the game. There's a certain kind of endgame player, competitive player, that will just quit the game if after this anniversary we still haven't gotten an Ingrid rerun. It's also, we've only had 2 ever. The last one was the end of last anniversary. It was the end of July, beginning of August that time. I think it was the last week of July. We are so due for an Ingrid Banner. This is one that, like, I will be shocked. I'll probably make a whole video about how shocked I am about it if this doesn't happen. This is the number one thing on the list that I'm expecting to happen. I would really love to see her paired with Valara, the new character they've teased, who has the bond skill with the next limited we're getting, Moradin. That would be such a superstar banner. That would probably, assuming Valara's as good as people are mumbling about, that would be to the hype of the Ingrid Ardia banner, which in my opinion is still the best banner in the history of this game. They did that for last New Year's. That was the last time they ran Ingrid. That is going to be my number 2. My number 3 prediction is a Praetus banner or a Valderon banner. We've had a lot of great lords come into the game like Nastia. We've had old lords get a huge glow up, whether it be Yovar, because new content is so geared towards him and the faction he lords over where he's the best, or Soul Cadence, who got just a scary good buff. He's just so good, and Infernals, it becomes more and more meta. Like, those guys are all awesome, but at the end of the day, I still believe it's the big 3. It's Ingrid, it's Praetus, it's Valderon. Ingrid, I think, is number 1. She has to come, but just knowing Moonton, they want your summons, baby. They want your money. They want you to get after it. They want you to get into it. To do that, they need to run something else super juicy. We haven't had these banners in kind of a minute. Valderon, I want to say, has been about 3 months, maybe 2.5 months. Praetus has been, I think it was just before Valderon, so maybe like 4 months, 3.5 months. It makes sense they would run some combination of Ingrid and then something else. You know, might frustrate people, but they need to draw your attention elsewhere. They probably will run it before an Ingrid banner, I would think. So I think you can count on 2 big 3 banners, and one of them has to be Ingrid. Last year, actually, if you count like the hype up period before the anniversary, plus the anniversary, plus the cooldown, in that like 6-week period, maybe it was either 6 or 8 weeks, they ran all 3 of these. We had Valderon Ymerit, we had Praetus and Jira, and then we had Ingrid and Thalon. So I think they will do something like this. Number 4, the biggest home run I've hit in a while, though I like to hit a lot of those. This was the limited selected banner. I showed this in my video yesterday. This prediction was made 2 hours before they announced it. I had no leaks, no other knowledge. Actually, a lot of leaker and content creator-y people, no hard feelings, but were saying I was like making stuff up for clicks, and I was like, no, it has to be this way. Like they teased 4 different upcoming reruns, or like saying they'd scheduled what would be reruns of old limiteds. They said Dahlia, they said Diao Chan, they said Kagiri, they said Captain Reeve. I said that is untenable. There's no way there's going to be every other week that just boom, 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 boom. It has to be a limited selector, or what I wrote was a choose limited path event. I thought maybe there'd be something you have to do something to unlock, and then you could select which limited you'd be summoning for. It is a selector banner. It is hard confirmed now. So this is a yay for me. That's a check. That's one of the 2 I nailed in the 2 hours before I left for dinner, and then while I left for lunch, and then while I was gone, they actually did that content drop. This is going to happen. This one seems to be a miss, which I'm really excited about, because I didn't want this to happen. I just kept hearing it could happen. I've got a big theory about this I want to share. I touched on it yesterday. I want to go quickly into it now. This was an ancient limited banner, so this would be a new non-lord ancient hero that would be a 200 guarantee summon, or some number of guaranteed. I thought it'd be 200. That's a lot of what I was hearing as well from rumors. And that it would be a limited, which was kind of a scary thing. It's like a top powerful non-lord ancient exclusive that then leaves the pool when that limited banner is over. It looks like that's not happening, because a lot of people were thinking it would be a new tactician, which means it would have been Valara, who was announced yesterday. Doesn't seem to be her. My guess, because I can't imagine this many people would be wrong. You know, everyone has their reasons for thinking things. I think what it's going to be, which is, in my opinion, the best of both worlds, she is going to join the ancient pool. She'll be a new ancient hero, and I'm calling another shot here. I think they're going to have her be a guaranteed unit. Like, there's a mercy on her, the way we have on a limited banner, on an exclusive banner, but she's not going to be exclusive. Then she'll stay in the pool for the future. So other people can try to summon for her now, and then she'll exist in the future. She's not going to leave the typical ancient pool. But for this specific banner, if you can get to 200 ancients, which I think will still be the number, then you can get Valara. That's my opinion. I'll even be specific. I think it will be Valara, and I think she'll be a 200 guaranteed ancient, but not exclusive. However, the ancient limited exclusive seems to be a no. Nah, but maybe close? I'm going to stand by the maybe close. I like where my head's at on that. We'll see. Let's go to number 6 here. Let me reveal this is the other. This was easier. This felt like a gimme, though I did have to take the swing to guess, and this was confirmed in the content drop. A new tactician would be added to the game, and this would be a standard new normal exclusive limited banner. And it is. It's going to be Morden. That was hard confirmed yesterday in the news drop. I should be able to even show it to you here in game because they did add it in game. Let's see, Morden. They're not writing exclusive, but in the video they did. Are they going to say it anywhere else? Take my word for it or watch my video I posted yesterday. Also, thank you guys. So many of you watched that video. Nice to see that. We still got it, baby. But it said limited. It said limited, and it said will be guaranteed within 200. And it's a separate banner. I've gotten a lot of questions about this. It is a separate banner than the limited selector. The limited selector actually said includes all the limiteds except for Morden. That was in the fine print. Without a doubt, people are like, are they going to run them at the same time? There's no world. Like, the game would explode in the worst of ways. People would be riding the street. There is no way they won't split them up by at least 2 weeks. I would also be shocked if they don't run Morden first, since that's juicier and that's more anniversary-y, and the anniversary is so close at this point. 2.5 weeks away is the actual anniversary. Actually, about 2 weeks is the actual anniversary. I would predict, and I'll do a prediction here. This wasn't part of my anniversary predictions, but now that we know, the update is tonight. Excuse me, the update is tomorrow night, my mistake, into Wednesday. So depending on where you live, I would think 2 weeks from that Wednesday, Thursday. Usually the limiteds are on either a Wednesday or Thursday. I would think that's when we're going to get Morden. So I would think the 16th or the 17th would be Morden, which locks you in that the earliest the selector banner could be, whether you're going for Kagiri or Diachan and anything like that. Really, it's those two, unless you have them. If maybe you're missing a Reeve or a Gwendolyn, you want to fill out that stuff. The earliest it could be is the 30th or the 31st. Could even be the 6th or the 7th. Frankly, could be the 13th or the 14th. But I would really bank on it happening this time around the July the 31st or August the 7th. I would just really count on that, and that Morden's going to be the 16th or the 17th. So you'll have at least the 2 weeks. There's no way. Maybe if they're feeling crazy and they want to piss off every player, they'll run it 1 week later. There's a 0% chance they'll run it at the same time. I'd give it a 4% chance they run it 1 week later. Very, very likely it's at least 2 weeks, if not 3 weeks. I would bank on 2 weeks. They've done that before. During last anniversary, they did Dahlia leading up to the anniversary, and then for the anniversary 2 weeks later, exactly 2 weeks later, they did Honora. So there you go. This one was a yay. We got it right. There you got my little date prediction. What did I say? I said July, let's call it July 17. We're going to call it 7/17. Actually, for you Europeans, or frankly non-Americans, we'll write it like this. Okay, number 7. Now we're into the more grounds. I think there's going to be a new permanent fusion. This one I feel really confident in. I think this is another surprise that they haven't told us yet, but I do think this is coming. How could it not be? If we look over here, there's ways it could not be. But last year, exactly last anniversary, that's when Micah was added as our second ever permanent fusion. We then a couple months later had Abomination, our original permanent legendary fusion, replaced by Salazar. So Salazar's the newest of the 2 permanent fusions. It was announced in the update notes, if I can find that. Here we go, in the other section, that Micah would be joining the summoning pool along with Callista and Selene. Here you go. Legendary Heroes number 5. Legendary Heroes Micah, Selene, and Callista will be added to the Invocation of Spirits and Divine Summoning pools. Also, by the way, Rourke is getting added to the Ancients. Unrelated, but just so you know. That makes me think, hey, she's added to the normal pool now. She no longer needs to be a permanent fusion. I think we'll get a new permanent fusion. What's it going to be? Who's it going to be? Is it a new character? Is it an old character? I don't know, but I think she will be replaced by someone the way Salazar replaced Abomination in the fusion portal in that section of the summoning over here. I think Micah's days are numbered. You can't see it because I fused her, but I think she'll be replaced by somebody else. That's my prediction. Number 8, we got 3 more here, guys. Thanks for sticking with me. This is probably the most hopium of the bunch. I really want to see this happening. I'm gonna say Moonton knows what's good for them, and they know as cool as Malric is, that is not fully formed, fully new, fully fresh content. It's been literally since the Gear Dungeons that we had entirely fresh content added to this game. I mean content where the first stage is actually easy and the last stage is crazy hard. Full progression content that is for all the people. Yes, for the Gear Dungeon, you have to beat Gear Raid 1, 2, and 3, stage 18. But at this point in the game, that's pretty early game stuff. That's something most players will do at most within 2 months, if not within a month or even less. A lot of people can do that free to play in 2 weeks now. Obviously, that's pretty high level play. But that was cool because like stage 1 and 2 were like literally easy. That's content for early players. And then like those middle stages were actually hard. And then the last stages at the time they came out were very difficult. Very few people beat it that first month, probably only hundreds, not even thousands. So I'd love to see either a new gear raid or a new gear dungeon. And I'm going to call my shot. I want to see a gear raid 4. Gear Raid 3 was added a couple months before global launch in 2023, like spring 2023. Global launch was July 2023. I think it's time for a Gear Raid 4, and I'd like to see some new gear sets. More on that in a second. In honor of this wish, I'm going to stop calling Gear Dungeon 1 Gear Raid 4 and Gear Dungeon 2 Gear Raid 5 because I want a new, fresh Gear Raid. So I want a Gear Raid 4, which means I'm no longer going to call those things Gear Raids. I'm just going to call them Gear Dungeon 1, Gear Dungeon 2. Something maybe I should have done a while ago, but I want to see a Gear Raid 4. And I'll write Hopium? Maybe. Got 2 more. Speaking of a new Gear Raid, with that new Gear Raid, I want new gear. I want a new gear set. This is maybe a big swing, but I want a new Gear Raid and I want a new gear set. Maybe it's got some new kind of supporty effect or crowd control effect, some way to actually transform the kit. Maybe there's a stun set, maybe there's a freeze set, something a set that reduces the time that reduces the cost of an ultimate. Imagine like a set on the right side that's like the ultimate is 100 less cost. It can be really spicy, or cuts the cost of the ultimate by 20%. Maybe that's more realistic. Maybe it extends the duration of the ultimate for certain kinds of heroes. Maybe it's a class-specific set. I want to see that. I want that to come. That's going to be my 9th prediction. These are probably my funkiest predictions. And then number 10, I think it'd be insane for Moonton not to do this. I'm going to say, when I wrote this, I was so confident when I wrote this yesterday, and then they did the content drop, and they didn't mention any new unnameable, any new dragon. I'm feeling a lot less confident, because how could you not tease that? It's such a moneymaker. People love dragons. Gamers love dragons. But, in unnameable, we got Iax with global launch in 2023 in July. Exactly a year ago, in July 2024, we had Ymerit join the fray. So it's like a dragon every anniversary, the 0th, the 1st, here's the 2nd. If I was Moonton, I think, and if I'm Moonton, I want to line my pockets and I want to get the game hype. I think it's time for dragon number 3. I think it's time for our 3rd unnameable dragon. And if I was them, I'll get even more specific. I would make it a tactician. The way Iax is not the dragon, the way Iax is not the dragon, he's the rider. I would like to see another rider, because it seems like all the tacticians are riding horses. Maybe there's a super special unnameable tactician. Let's call him Gregory. Gregory's riding a dragon or a drake or something like that. I think that'd be so freaking sweet. Shout out to all the Gregorys out there. Drop something in the comments if your name's Gregory. Hey, shout out to R-Type who's editing this video. But yeah, I would love to see that. So yeah, I think that's the final one I want to say, and I just think it'd be super hype, and I think it'd be a really cool tradition and something for people to look forward to every year. If they're like, oh, it's the anniversary, we're going to get a new unnameable, we're going to get a new dragon. So there you go. Those are my 10 predictions. I think some of them really could and will happen. Some of them have happened. Some of them I really hope are going to happen. Maybe they won't happen. Really, those last 3. But there you have it. Sorry, also, this video is coming out a little later. I planned this video like days ago. I formalized it yesterday, and then the content drop happened, and I'm like, should I still make it? But I think there's some good stuff in here. You can see how I think about the game and what I'm hoping to see. Fun, loose kind of video. Thank you again to R-Type for editing this video. Share it with your mother, guys. I've been Fastidious. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.
Fastidious.